So we are looking at the IGN FAHKUMRAM starter guide and early look gameplay for FAHKUMRAM. It's on the new stage, which is something I've been dying to get a look at. I wish they would post clips on Twitter. Street Fighter does this where they will post just a small clip to just highlight the trailer, the character, or the stage. I think stuff like that is super cool. But Tekken kind of goes this route where they push off all of the stuff until the very end. It's like Street Fighter reveals the characters all at once, and then they like trickle in little reveals here and there, like they're doing with Sagat currently, and then they have the character release. But Tekken kind of reveals the character, and then it's kind of like a quiet like drought, and then boom, all this stuff happens at once. And I guess, right? But let's watch this.
The latest entry to Tekken 8's roster is the thunderstruck Muay Thai legend,
VTEC King has
FAHKUMRAM.
donated
Oh,
$10
appreciate the
and
dono.
says Pac-Man stage.
Pac-Man stage.
VTEC King has donated $10 and says Pac-Man stage.
Yeah, I agree. This Pac-Man stage is fire, bro. And I think all the people who are disliking it, I think they're kind of missing what this stage is supposed to be. It's supposed to be crazy, loud, vibrant. The way that I described it in the past is that Tekken has always had two types of stages. You always had the very realistic, grounded, environments like a jungle, like a mall, like a moonlight wilderness. But then you also had, stages in space, stages in like, fallen colony, right? You always had these whimsical type of stages, and I feel like Tekken 8 doesn't have enough of that. But with the introduction of this stage, I feel like they finally do. Geometric Plane was one of my favorite stages in Tekken 7, so to see it come back with a new banger soundtrack and new vibe, it's amazing.
A returning character that made its debut as a DLC character in Tekken
Look
7.
at this. Ooh, okay, look. It looks like someone threw up on the screen. Okay, I think I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. But it is pretty interesting. If you just look generally at this, they changed some things. So in Tekken 7, the characters started basically they were rotated. You see how both of their backs are to the corner? In Tekken 7, Azazina's back would have been to the orange wall, and if FAHKUMRAM's back would have been to the other wall. But now they're taking into consideration how much combos have progressed and how much things have changed, and now you're starting off diagonally. Also, note how tall FAHKUMRAM is. His head is pretty much touching the health bar. He's really towering over Azazina. I love getting to look at the guy with the health bars and all that stuff because it really, like, this is Tekken. And this is why I kind of dislike the videos where they show Tekken without health bars and stuff like that, because it kind of doesn't give you a true sense of what's happening. But, I understand, it's just my own pet peeves and whatnot, right? But look.
And he is what you see. A very lanky fighter with great range, powerful strikes, and comparatively simple inputs and execution relative to the rest of the cast.
This is crazy. So this is FAHKUMRAM fighting. There's a lot. So they really gave, wait, what is this green thing right there? That better not be exploding corner. What is that? They really gave IGN exclusive gameplay. That's interesting.
But he's also
I wonder if IGN pays for this.
got a couple of interesting mechanics that Bandai Namco esports manager Alex Julio was kind enough to walk me through.
This downstairs section, this is the second layer. It's not as bright, and it's more aesthetically like vibrant. I like it.
In this early preview of the character. So let's take a quick look at what's new with the character, go over his best moves, punishes, and take a look at some quick combos as well in this Tekken starter guide for FAHKUMRAM.
Oh,
First
you
off,
saw that? FAHKUMRAM had a tailspin right there. That was whoever gameplay this is like kind of legit. Because that was a legit combo right there. That was a tailspin. First time seeing the tailspin. And then he has this wind post where he does that little somersault and lands on you with the knee. Oh, put the knee on your neck. Dang, chill. FAHKUMRAM, relax.
off just a few little interesting tidbits about the character. He is once again mocapped by professional.
Wait, oh, this is the guy who did the mocap. He's like a world champion.
Muay Thai fighter and kickboxer Nadaka Yoshinari, who also happens to be the martial arts master of longtime Tekken producer Michael Murray.
Whoa, I didn't know that. He's Michael Murray's master? I did not know that. That part, maybe we were too busy making fun of the whole Tekken showcase to properly digest that, but that's a cool trait.
I was told that apparently they went into the mountains of Thailand to find a monk in a temple to draw FAHKUMRAM's tattoos. So obviously, authenticity was a big point that the developers wanted to hit with this.
The tattoo part of it is so funny. They said they had a monk draw these tattoos, and these tattoos are basically a protection type tattoo. But it's not working at all for FAHKUMRAM. I mean, look at him. Does he look like someone who is being protected by a tattoo? This guy's been struck by lightning. He's been captured. His family's being held hostage. What protection? This guy fights bears and tigers and stuff. What?
This character. Gameplay wise, before we go into his notable moves, let's quickly cover his.
Oh, he has. Oh yeah, we already knew he had to install. He activates that install, and then he uses the install, and then he activates it after an end of a combo, or basically like Brian Fury. Doesn't Brian Fury, he gets his install, he does a combo, and then he can end his combo with getting his install back.
The force buff, which is a buff gained by landing one of the following: his down forward 1-2, forward 1+2, the last hit of back 4-3-2.
9 hits, 66 damage, and that was without heat and a lot of his other mechanics. Wow, that damage is crazy, bro. I don't know though. Is this on par with what every character does? It seems like it, you know.
His punch parry, or if you're.
Oh wait. What's the input on that punch parry?
His punch.
Back to 4 punch parry. What is the frames on this? Because this is what I was interested in. So it doesn't show us the startup frames. +7 though is the frame advantage. Punch parry. So wait, this person says a punch parry. So is a punch parry exclusively for punches or kicks too? Because I know there's certain parries that doesn't do elbows and like weapons. So is this like, I'm a scrub. So what is a punch parry?
Punch parry, or if you're in heat, you just have the buff automatically. When he has this buff,
Oh wait, you got a punch parry to just punches? Okay.
FAHKUMRAM gains a couple of new strings, including his old rage drive from Tekken 7.
Oh wow. So his old rage drive. So FAHKUMRAM had 2 rage drives. He had the low rage drive and he had the mid rage drive. The low rage drive came from a stance, and they gave that back to him, but this time it comes from the install, and he has it in heat. He's going to be, just that one fact alone is going to be crazy, bro. That's one fact alone is going to be crazy. 45 damage on a hell sweep. Yeah, 45 damage on a install, heat activated hell sweep.
He can also do this when he fully charges either his tornado kick or his erupting knee. Basically,
that's the guard break. People on Twitter are kind of in an uproar about what FAHKUMRAM is able to do, and I'll show you guys this video here from High Buff Gigas. We're gonna take a quick little detour. It says FAHKUMRAM has at least 6 to 7 mix-up options after seeing his standing 3 forward 3-2. So one of them is a fast mid 3-4, fast high mid 3-1-4, cancel into crouch is new. Delaying the homing is homing mid is new. Delay homing high 3-4-4. Hell sweep full charge guard break. So you can see that basically from this one, pause this, mute that, go back to the start. You can see that from this one stance that starts off with 3, he has 7 different options. 7. And one of those options is a guard break. One of those is a counter hit. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy they packed on this much to this one stance, because it was already kind of tricky to deal with. But now when you have 7 different variations and you have a lot of those that activate his install, I mean, it's just confusing to even describe. And I know defend it against is going to be something, but who knows? Let's not fearmonger. Maybe it will be easy peasy lemon squeezy.
If they're blocked, he enters his Rama stance, where it's time for the opponent to guess. In this stance,
Oh my god. Hey, look, let's not fearmonger. And then IGN says he enters his Rama stance where now it's time to guess. Thanks, IGN. Now we're back to fearmongering.
He can do an unsafe low, a safe mid-string that jails,
Oh, that move jails. So it's a low, a move that jails,
+1 on block mid,
+1 on block mid.
a slow but interruptible and blockable, and a throw.
That is so crazy. That is so crazy, bro. So let's analyze this. FAHKUMRAM has the 3 stance. He has the 3 stance. We just identified how that stance alone has 7 different options. But then if he goes with the guard break option, from the guard break option, how many other variations did IGN say? 5. So you have 7 guesses. If they do the guard break, then you have to guess between 5 other things. And this is kind of my problem with Tekken, is that all of these different things require a different answer. You have a grab, which you have to, break or get out of the way of, crouch. You have the mid, which gels. You have the low, which kills. So it's like, if you guess incorrectly, you die. You die. If you guess the mid and he does the grab, you're cooked. If you guess the low and he does the mid, it's crazy.
It's worth mentioning as well that while these charged attacks are sidesteppable, FAHKUMRAM can now feint and cancel them by holding forward, or use a homing attack out of them and try to catch the sidestep by holding back.
That's crazy. I don't know why they're going this hard on his guard breaks. His guard breaks was already really problematic. If you think about Tekken 7 and how brutal this was for the average, we're not talking about the pros, but we could talk about the pros. Let's talk about the FAHKUMRAM mirror matches that happened in grand finals for like a year and a half straight when this character released. The only way people stopped FAHKUMRAM is by picking FAHKUMRAM or picking Steve Fox, who at the time had great keep out tools and great counter hit tools. But going back to what I was going to say about the casual player was already getting destroyed by his guard break and the few options that he had in Tekken 7. So when you start throwing around 7 options, 5 options, I mean, the developers know what they're doing.
Now let's talk about his notable normals. Starting off with 3+4, a returning favorite, this is just a really chunky 18-frame mid that knocks down on regular hit and on counter hit.
Yeah, also keep in mind, he got banned in Pakistan. Pakistan, he was not allowed to be used. And Pakistan are known for Akuma and 2D characters. So for them to specifically handpick FAHKUMRAM, especially over Kunimitsu and Launch Leroy and Akuma, that says something.
Hit stuns the opponent for a full combo. It tracks to the right and is safe on block at -9. Forward 3 is a new 21-frame advancing load that is +4 on hit, tracks to the right, and is -14 on block.
Are they sure that move is new? That looks like the move that I was using in Tekken 7, but maybe it is new. Maybe it's a different animation. I don't know.
From crouch down forward 2 is another low-hitting move, this time with 19 frames of startup, that leaves him at +4 on hit and is -14 on block. On counter hit, it
So this move is pretty interesting because he can basically fake this. Just knowing about FAHKUMRAM alone is that he has pretty crazy while standing attacks. He has that hop knee that you probably want to do at high level, but then he also has like a mid. I think it's basically like a double elbow type of attack that's like a standing up type of move. So he could basically just do those and disguise it with this new low elbow that he's gotten. So basically, I don't know if FAHKUMRAM had weaknesses, but if he did, those weaknesses will most certainly be gone because everything they're giving him is added to his already complex mix up game.
knocks down and gives you a guaranteed forward 1+2 follow-up, which is a great way to get his Garuda Force Charge. Down 4 is a faster low at 14 frames that will transition into a throw.
Oh, I think that's the low I was thinking of. This is the low that I was thinking of earlier. So it's a different leg he's using, and it has a counter hit property that does this little animation here.
If it hits as a counter. That added power comes with risk though, as it is launch punishable at -15 on block. Back forward 4 is a returning 18 frame high kick that is core to FAHKUMRAM's kit. It causes a crumple even on normal hit, is +6 on block, and as an extra bonus, it also armor breaks, which means that you
It armor breaks. I mean, okay, look. I kind of like the armor break. No complaints there. I think that's cool because this kick is like a cool kick. But also like the coolness of this kick, the sound effects, the mechanic. It's cool. I love it. But I also know that this was used like crazy in tournaments. You guys ever seen those once again grand final mirror matches where people are using this kick and they're using the mid kick and that's all they're doing to poke each other the whole time?
cannot power crush through it. It can be ducked, of course, and launch punished, but nevertheless, this is a very scary move. Forward 4 is a 25 frame axe kick that is +3 on block and +14 on counter hit.
Wasn't that his power crush in previous Tekken? So where did his power crush go? Oh, I know where his power crush went. The IGN probably will tell you in a second.
Which lets you get either a free back 1 or other 14 frame follow.
So they changed that from a power crush to this move that basically allows you to get a follow-up, and it probably will activate heat.
Follow-up. It's worth noting at this point that one of FAHKUMRAM's weaknesses is that his attacks are generally pretty slow on startup. For example, most characters have a 13 frame down forward 1 as a quick mid poke after the opponent blocks a plus on block move. FAHKUMRAM's down forward 1 though is 15 frames. So just keep that in mind when you're planning your pressure after this move is blocked.
So basically, this is what I always highlight. When you guys ask me which characters do I struggle against the most and how do I feel about FAHKUMRAM, and I would always tell you that FAHKUMRAM or Yoshimitsu destroys FAHKUMRAM and Leroy, even at the height of their power. Obviously, they're still really powerful, but Yoshimitsu could do something there. And this is exactly why. You talk about the slow startup of FAHKUMRAM. Not many characters can exploit a weakness like that as much as Yoshimitsu can. Yoshimitsu and his 6 frame, 8 frame flash, that slow startup is enough to not allow FAHKUMRAM to even get started on some of the shenanigans. But then once again, that's when the power comes in. All the power has to do is catch you off guard a little bit, and then boom, they're back in the game, right?
Forward, forward, forward 3 is a pretty standard running attack that allows you to close the distance and keep the advantage even if it's blocked.
Look at how high that mid is. That's a mid, but that mid is real high.
This one is +6 on block, and on hit gives you a +15 knockdown. It's fairly linear though, and can be sidestepped both ways. Down forward 3 is another far-reaching low. This one has 20 frames of startup, is -1 on hit, and -13 on block, but it has a fake out by pressing down forward 3-3.
Oh! You saw that? That's crazy. They can fake to go for the low, and then they can hit you with a gotcha. Man, this character is just a fake out. It's kind of, think about, okay, look. Think about Atif playing Anna. You know how Atif is doing all these fake outs, going through all of these different stances and putting a leg up and a rocket. You know how Atif pulls out, look, I'm saying Atif like Atif's the only one who does it. He is the only one. He's him. Look, you know how Atif pulls out the rocket, fakes like he's going to shoot, and then he goes back to doing stances? That's what they're going to achieve here with FAHKUMRAM. Wait until Atif plays FAHKUMRAM, and you're going to see how all of these different stance cancels come into effect to keep, but see, I also kind of like that. I like the idea of doing fake outs more than forced pressure, because if he just did the kick and the kick just gave like some super plus frames, that's way worse than if he was to fake you out and then go for a different attack. I mean, I do that all the time with Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu literally has 2-1. You can hold the back, and then you can cancel the 1, so you fake the second hit, and then you can do like a down forward 2. Like, that's what I love. It's like you could keep aggression through unique, interesting ways. So the fake out, I'm not too much against the fake out. I love that, and I think it looks really cool. And it's also really cool when you unlock that potential. I love that.
Low and instead going mid. If the second kick hits, it will knock down and guarantee a ground follow.
Okay, that tracking to the right side was kind of.
And if it's blocked, it's +2. The low hit can be sidestepped both ways, while the fake out tracks to the right.
Oh, so it's only to the right. So if you get hit by it to the left, Tekken report.
Act 3 is a returning move from Tekken 7, but this time it's also a heat engager. It's a 16 frame high roundhouse kick that is safe on block at -7 and also will wall stun. Up forward 2 is one of FAHKUMRAM's power crushes. This one is 18 frames high.
Oh, so there's one of the power crushes down. That's a power crush.
Sidesteppable in both directions, but
Side note, the characters who have multiple power crushes, because I know FAHKUMRAM has another one. I believe it's forward 1+2 or something like that. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see. But the characters who have multiple power crushes, bro, you guys are so lucky, bro. I feel like Yoshimitsu's power crushes have been terrible in Tekken 7 and 8. But see, I'm not requesting he get a better power crush by no means. But I'm just saying, those of you guys who have a good power crush, appreciate that bad boy. Take that bad boy out to dinner, celebrate it. Buy some ice cream.
safe on block at -7. His other power crush, forward 3+4, on the other hand, is a mid, but is slower at 22 frames of startup and is -14 on block. Next is down forward.
I wonder what that other power crush will be used for, because it's so slow and it covers generally the same. Oh, well, the other one's a mid. The other one's a high. This one's a mid. So maybe there's usage there. But yeah, that one was really slow. Atif will make it work.
1, which is a move that we somewhat touched upon earlier. It's on the slower side as far as down forward ones go at 15 frames, but it is only -3 on block, and also has two very notable follow-ups in down forward 1-2.
I love that move. That move is so awesome. I love the animations of it. And I just love that move. That's a great move. I like FAHKUMRAM. FAHKUMRAM is a really cool character. I just really dislike how powerful he is and how, just powerful. But I love the character.
Which is -13 on block, but will grant a Garuda Force charge if it hits, and down forward 1-4, which is a heat engager that is safe on block at -5. Then let's quickly touch upon his heat engagers, which are forward 1+2, a 21 frame safe mid that can be sidestepped in both directions.
Safe mid. So basically they gave him like basically he has like a demon paw. So many characters in this game have a demon paw. And they may not be called the same thing, but it basically does the same thing. Jin, Kazuya, Devil Jin, FAHKUMRAM, Shahid. Who else has like a running attack, like a forward 2 attack that's safe and activates heat? There's a couple of characters, but I can't think of their names now.
The aforementioned back 3, up forward 3, which is a 14 frame punishing heat engager. And finally, there's while standing 1-2, which is a.
Oh, that's the move. You see that move? You remember when I was talking about the low that he has? That low elbow, that's a new attack, and I was telling you that he has the 2 elbows. Now we see it comes full circle. So the thing is that you bait that low, or you can bait that low. You can commit to the low, whatever. But he has this second option, which is a while standing heat engager, double elbow, boom, boom. I don't know if any other characters have a wild standing heat engager. Yoshimitsu, I don't think he does. But is there another character who has a wild standing heat engager? Maybe.
13 frame while standing punish. Speaking of punishes, let's go over everything FAHK has from 10 frame to 23 frame punishers. At 10 frames, FAHKUMRAM's options are 1-2 and
I'm guessing his punishers will stay generally the same.
1-4. 1-4 is the better option in just about every situation. It does more damage and leaves you at +8 as opposed to +5. He doesn't have an 11 frame punish, but for 12 frames...
+8, that seems pretty generous. What's that about? What can we talk about that?
He's got 2-1, 4-3, and 4-4. Of the 3 options, you're generally going to want to do 2-1 as it does the most damage and knocks down. And
whoa! I don't know why my mind was blown by that punish wall splatting. I don't know. I feel like so many characters do that, and my mind was just blown.
It will wall stun. For 13 frame punishes, there's 3-1, which leaves you at +7 on hit, giving you some pretty good options to keep your pressure going.
Hey, those of you in the chat, can you guys give a 1 out of 10 on how afraid you are so far?
For 14 frames, he's got 3 options. Back 1, which knocks down and gives you a guaranteed follow-up with either forward 3 or...
That animation, I don't like that animation. That knockdown animation where like the opponent like get flipped upside down on their neck. I feel like that animation alone in Tekken is not good. A lot of people get put in that situation and they don't know how to react. They don't know how to stand up. They don't know how to move. And just generally that situation where characters get knocked. Because this is what I disliked about Tekken 8 specifically. I disliked how Tekken 8 has these animations that specifically puts you in the worst position possible. This, how you're laying on the ground, to my understanding, is the worst way you can land in the game. You back to the ground, head towards the opponent. That's asking for death. And the fact that the game puts you in that state, crazy.
Forward, forward 1+2, which again gives you a Garuda Force charge. Up forward 3, which is a heat engager. And back to 1, which does solid damage and knocks down, but doesn't give you a follow.
I think this move is more so used in combos, correct me if I'm wrong, for like wall travel. I mean, look at this, look at that distance right there without even a wall. This is just normal hit. Maybe you could do this to get the wall and then do a wall combo, etc.
Up while the opponent is grounded. All 3 of these options also wall stun.
Huh? All of them?
At 15 frames, your go-to will be down forward 2,
I love that move.
3, which is his main launcher. Down forward 1-2 will give him a Garuda charge, and down forward 1-4 will be what you use if you want a heat engager. And if you block something that's super punishable, his 20 frame punisher is up forward 4, which is his hop kick.
That's his hop kick? Why does his hop kick look like one of those jumping hop kicks? You know how like a character can jump and then you could do like the hop kick in the air and then he does that? This doesn't look like a normal hop kick. It looks like one of those jumping hop kicks. It looks weird.
On the wall standing front, at 11 frames, he's got wall standing 4, which does 20 damage and leaves you at +5. For 13 frames, there's wall standing 1-2, which is a heat engager and wall stuns.
So that's that elbow we're just talking about from while standing.
For 14 frames, you've got wall standing 2-4, which
Oh, and then he has this as well. So he could choose not to go into heat, and he can choose to instead do this mid move, which is so he has the heat gauger option, but he has this one which has, you saw the tracking on the second hit. It's a delayed hop kick. That's what I meant. Yeah, delayed hop kick. But for this move, he has the second hit which has that tracking on it, that homing trail. So those are the different options there. The heat engage. So I wonder how steppable that first attack is, that first elbow. Because if you could step the elbow, this tracking would hit you. But if you can't step the elbows, then it kind of doesn't matter in theory.
also wall stun, or without a wall, knockdown and guarantees a forward 1+2 follow-up.
You see how it puts you in that position? And look, you're still in the position. King head is still facing towards FAHKUMRAM. And if the king stands up incorrectly, the FAHKUMRAM can close that distance and get another big hit. That's why I dislike this position. If the game wanted to put you in this position so the character could get their follow-up attack, fair enough. But once they hit you like this, you should be out of that position. Because how many times have we been in this situation where the game puts you back down, head towards the character, and then you stand up incorrectly, and then boom, now you're launched. You know, now you're same level as the clouds.
And finally, for 15 frames, there's wall standing.
Oh, that's crazy. So this is probably the most dangerous part of this whole while standing thing. He has so let's just go through the steps. He has the low, which knocks down for a guaranteed follow-up. He has the while standing attack, which is a heat engager. He has the other variation, which is a tracking second hit, but it knocks you down for a guaranteed follow-up. But then he has this variation here, which is a mid launcher. And this is my problem with Tekken 8. I mean, all of these options seem really strong, and there's no weaknesses there. All of those options have either a guaranteed follow-up. I mean, they all have guaranteed follow-ups. Even a heat one, you get a heat mix-up. There's no sense of like weakness here. This one, that just straight knee is crazy.
Which is your traditional launch punisher from while standing.
And is that even counter hit? Is that just normal? That's a launch punisher too. So that's a normal knee hit. It seems like they're doing look, in season 1, where a lot of the characters were stances, right? They do stances and they just, repeat stance. 333 Eddie, 22 Lydia, Heihachi. It seems like the developers are evolving from that. They took our advice of not liking, 333 stances. And now with Ana and FAHKUMRAM, we see that the new type of stance evolution is to do crouching. Both FAHKUMRAM and Ana, they both have the same type of cancels. They have the same type of continuous stances, but then they also have these stances that goes into crouch and then comes out of crouch. Because keep in mind, he has that 3-4 scenario where he can cancel it into crouch. So he can do 3-4, which has 7 options. He could do the option that goes into crouch. From crouch, he then gets all of these options here. So you see how all of this stuff is weaving together, and it's literally the same thing with Anna. Anna's the same way. Anna's the same way. And it's kind of sad because where we had Eddie and Lydia being the same character, we now have FAHKUMRAM and Anna being the same character. I mean, but I guess it doesn't matter because, all of those season 1 characters, and Anna included, are the most popular they ever been. So they're losing a lot of identity. They're becoming more of the same. But as a result of it, they're finding newfound success.
Now, as always, let's put this all together for a little showcase with some practical combos to get you started with the character.
10 hits, 71 damage. I'm assuming these combos are going to be very generic. These are probably the sample combos that the game show you. And within 20 minutes of the game, of FAHKUMRAM releasing, I'm pretty sure people are going to discover some crazy, combos that blow this out of the water, right? But these are good starts, though. Even though we are like, kind of riding it off. For people who are learning new characters and stuff like that, it's a good place to start. Good place to start.
In Tekken 8. He's a hard-hitting character with great reach and some scary buttons, especially when he's got a Garuda charge. Thanks for watching, and another special thanks to Bandai Namco and Alex for taking the time to walk me through this character. For more Tekken 8, make sure to check out our other starter.
All right, that's a pretty interesting breakdown of FAHKUMRAM. Yeah.